If you think the wizarding world consists only of Hogwarts in Scotland, you are greatly mistaken. The truth is, there are exactly 11 great wizarding schools hidden in the darkest and most inaccessible corners of our planet. The International Confederation of Wizards has kept this massive magical network a secret from Muggles for centuries. Although most young witches and wizards are homeschooled, being accepted into these elite schools is the ultimate prestige. Now, we open the dusty pages of the official Wizarding World archives and set out to explore this global magical heritage. We begin our journey with the largest and one of the oldest of all schools, Uagadou, in the heart of Africa. This massive structure, carved into the mountains of the moon, welcomes students from all over the continent. Visitors describe this place as a legendary temple, shrouded in thick mist, practically floating in the air. The Western world relies on wands for magic, whereas the wand is actually a European invention. Uagadou students, however, use magic in its purest form, casting complex spells simply by pointing their fingers. They have an unrivaled worldwide reputation in astronomy and alchemy. Furthermore, for Uagadou graduates, self-transfiguration, or becoming an animagus, is a highly common skill. While Hogwarts letters arrive by owls, children accepted into Uagadou are visited in their dreams. Dream messengers sent by the headmaster appear to sleeping children and leave them a token. The stone inscribed with ancient runes they find in their hands upon waking is proof of their acceptance to this great school. We fly from the largest school in the world to the one with the fewest students among the 11 great schools. Amidst the fierce waves of the Pacific Ocean, we are at the peak of the uninhabited volcanic island of Minami Iwo Jima. Here rises the flawless Mahoutokoro School of Magic, built from massive white mutton fat jade stones. Day students commute to the school by flying on the backs of giant storm petrels. Only students who turn 11 are eligible to board in this elegant and strictly disciplined palace.
The most fascinating mystery of the school is the enchanted silk robes given to students, which grow with them. As the students' academic knowledge and magical power increase, the color of these robes also changes magically. A beginner's robe is pale pink, and as they master it, it transforms into a bright, flawless gold. However, these unique silk robes have a much darker and more terrifying duty. If a student betrays the Japanese wizarding code, their golden robe suddenly turns stark white. The white robe is absolute and undeniable proof that illegal magic has been performed, or the statute of secrecy has been broken. This situation is a terrible disgrace. The student is immediately expelled and put on trial at the Japanese Ministry of Magic. This uncompromising and deadly discipline of Mahoutokoro ensures they excel in all areas of life. Especially on Quidditch pitches, they are known as one of the most feared, fastest, and ruthless teams in the world. However, these two legendary schools are only a small part of the magical network in the world. From the stormy peaks of Mahoutokoro, we descend into the hot and wild heart of South America, the Amazon forests. Here, the Castelobruxo School of Magic, resembling a massive golden temple, is hidden among the deep greenery. Muggles see this magnificent structure only as an old, decaying ruin on the verge of collapse. But for the witches and wizards who enter its doors, this place is a paradise in the fields of magical herbology and magizology. Castelobruxo students carry the wild spirit and energy of the forest in their bright emerald green robes. The school and its surroundings are protected by kyporas, highly mischievous and cunning spirits living deep in the forest. These small and furry creatures ruthlessly hunt down threats approaching the school's borders in the dark of night. Castelobruxo graduates are the world's most sought-after experts in potion-making and taming exotic magical creatures. Many students, even from Europe, come here through secret exchange programs to study this unique magical ecosystem. Leaving the depths of the Golden Temple, we set off towards the elegant and mysterious mountains of Europe. In the Pyrenees in southern France lies the Beauxbatons Academy of Magic, completely isolated from the outside world.
The students, in their pale blue silk robes, receive the most noble and artistic education in the wizarding world. In winter, the school's dining hall is decorated with massive, unmeltable ice sculptures, echoing with choirs of singing wood nymphs. The history of Beauxbatons dates back to when the legendary alchemist Nicolas Flamel, creator of the Sorcerer's Stone, and his wife Perenelle met here. Thanks to Flamel's massive donations to the school, the magnificent alchemy fountain in the center of the chateau was built. It is said that the waters of this fountain hold a unique magic that heals and grants youth. This apparent grandeur and elegance masterfully conceals how deadly the students can be in magical duels. But it is time to leave the sparkling corridors of Beauxbatons and head to the darkest and coldest corner of Europe, one of the most feared and strictly hidden schools in the wizarding world, Durmstrang Institute. Built in the freezing cold of the north, this school, unlike the others, teaches the dark arts directly.
Wizards accepted into Durmstrang grow up learning to prioritize survival and power above all else. Students wearing thick fur cloaks and blood-red robes are living reflections of this ruthless climate and strict rules. In the corridors of Durmstrang, fireplaces are lit only for casting magic. A warmth that brings weakness never enters. The greatest stain on the school's history is that the dark wizard Grindelwald, who caused global destruction, also passed through these desks. However, this terrifying past proves that Durmstrang provides the highest level of education in combat magic in the world. Visitors arrive at this hidden castle, surrounded by frozen lakes, on a massive ghostly ship rising from beneath the water. After these powerful schools of the world, the Ocean of Secrets calls us towards the untouched lands of America, to Ilvermorny. But even the dark secrets of Durmstrang are nothing compared to that terrifying truth hidden on the American continent. According to whispers, the crypts beneath Ilvermorny are not an ordinary school shelter, but the world's oldest magical prison. And this was the Dark Lord Tom's true goal: to shatter the doors of this prison and unleash the true terror that had been sleeping for thousands of years.
Located on Mount Greylock, one of America's highest peaks, Ilvermorny was originally founded by an Irish immigrant. At the entrance of the school, massive Pukwudgie statues, looking like they stepped out of old legends, stand guard. Ilvermorny's sorting ceremony is completely different from Hogwarts. Students are sorted by standing in front of 4 massive wooden carvings. Whichever house's statue reacts, the student belongs to that house, and this moment is celebrated with a massive magical explosion. While Hogwarts lets the wand choose the wizard, at Ilvermorny, the wand awakens directly in the school's hall and flies to its owner. But Tom's eyes were not on America, but on those 3 lost, hidden schools whose existence was only mentioned in myths. These schools are mere whispers, even in the International Confederation records, and finding their locations on maps is impossible. The first hidden school is located in the ruthless and vast red deserts of Australia, right in the heart of the outback. Students of this ancient school do not use wands. Instead, they project the legendary Dreamtime magic of the Aboriginals into the physical world. Amidst red sandstorms live wizards who draw ancient runes in the air to fight invisible enemies.
The second hidden training ground is at the roof of the world, a glacial temple on the unreachable peaks of the Himalayas. The wizards here take a vow of absolute silence for centuries, turning their mind shields into an impenetrable fortress. The magical wind chimes swaying around the snowy temples can sense even the slightest darkness from miles away. When Tom's Dementor armies approached this temple, the mountain itself awakened, triggering a colossal avalanche. The third and final hidden school is in the lands where human history was born, the endless deserts of the Middle East. This school, the cradle of Egyptian and Mesopotamian magic, is inside an oasis that appears only as a mirage during the day. The desert-adapted wizards here use specially forged ancient glass wands rather than wood to channel their magic. As the desert wizards' veils blow in the wind, the magic from their wands directly commands the sandstorms. The dark objects Voldemort desired most were actually sealed in the catacombs of this desert school. Looking at Dumbledore's map, Harry realized the danger was approaching not just Hogwarts, but the entire wizarding world. The prophecy in that old book Hermione found stated that these schools all over the world would fall simultaneously. As the samurai wizards of Mahoutokoro gathered in the sky, the global defense of magic had already begun. The healers of Castelobruxo waged a relentless struggle for survival, throwing defensive potions in the deep forests. As the warriors in the Durmstrang castle drew their swords, the icy winds of the north filled with the smell of blood. As Uagadou's animal shapeshifters descended from the forests to the cities, nature itself declared war on the darkness. Wizarding communities all over the world had to break their centuries-long silence and unite. When Harry gripped his wand, the pain in his lightning scar reached an unbearable level like never before. When Albus raised his wand to the sky, the massive dome of Hogwarts was sealed with the glowing shields of the other schools. As Ron and Hermione stood shoulder to shoulder with their friend, they knew the approaching massive storm was just the beginning. What would determine the fate of the world was not the power of magic, but how these 11 schools would stand united against the darkness.
The dark forces believed that the wizarding world was isolated and could be easily shattered. But when the dark armies attacked, they found not just one school, but an entire planet facing them. From the misty mountains of Scotland to the endless mountains of the moon in Africa, every magical vein glowed simultaneously. Japan's storm petrels pierced the sky like a knife, arriving in the skies of Hogwarts for support. Winds of healing magic sent from the depths of Brazil became a breath for the wounded warriors on the battlefield. Durmstrang's ruthless wizards fought hand-to-hand with dark monsters on the front lines. Ilvermorny's ancient protection spells echoed from America to the entire world as an impenetrable shield. Cold of Storetz's ice wizards knew no bounds as they trapped Dementors by creating a freezing circle. That delicate elegance of Beauxbatons turned into a deadly and flawless water whip on the battlefield. But the true miracle occurred when those 3 hidden schools, whose existence had been forgotten for millennia, emerged from the shadows. Dreamtime spirits, rising from the red deserts of Australia, shattered the darkness's mind control. The immense wave of golden light descending from the peak of the Himalayas instantly wiped away the black clouds covering the sky. And that golden storm blowing from the hidden dunes of the Middle East scattered the enemy lines like a reflection. Harry felt that the wand in his hand no longer carried just his own power, but the will of the entire wizarding world. When they raised their wands together with his friends, the magic emitting from them integrated with the universal protection network. That wise gleam in Albus's eyes proved how invincible the world could be when united. The black smoke around the Dark Lord weakened and melted in the face of this pure magic coming from all over the world. Tom, once thought invincible, was terrified as the magical core of the 11 schools beat as a single heart. All wands and wandless hands in the world created a single, unshakable dome of light in the sky. This light not only repelled the darkness, but also repaired the shattered and hidden history of the wizarding world. After the war, representatives of the 11 legendary schools gathered in the Great Hall of Hogwarts for the first time. Different languages, different robes, and different wands stood shoulder to shoulder with the silent pride of a shared victory.
It was now proven to the entire universe that magic is a universal bond that transcends borders and oceans. Now, when Hogwarts students looked at the horizon, they saw beyond it not just the Muggle world, but their endless allies. The impenetrable forests of Uagadou, the glaciers of Durmstrang, and the steep mountains of Ilvermorny now beat like a single heart. Even Severus, while brewing potions in his dungeons, experienced the silent satisfaction brought by this global salvation. The world had managed to turn the catastrophe brought by the Dark Lord into an unparalleled epic of resurrection and unity. Ministries of magic engraved this historic alliance into books with golden letters, but the true epic was written in the brave hearts of the students. All invisible borders of the wizarding world had crumbled, and the unshakable legend of the 11 schools had started a brand new era. But what if, in those yet undiscovered dark depths of the world, there are other hidden schools still waiting to awaken?